Hi and welcome everyone, this is the Hobo Prepper and I am Friar Tuck. Good to see you guys. Okay, so what today's video is going to be about, it's a typical teaser for Patreon. If you're not a Patreon subscriber and you would like to see the full video, please make sure to come on over there. At $5 a month gets you subscribed to the Patreon only content. This is just a teaser. If you want to see the full interview, you got to come over to Patreon. If you like this type of content, also, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already.
I'm one who studies on YouTube. I've been just looking my whole life, just looking around at... I was always interested in astronomy, outer space, the universe, you know, the meaning of life. What's out there? Is there life out there? Are we alone? You know, do you want to believe? Well, it kind of like took a burden off. You know, this material is goes a lot deeper than just UFOs. I think there's at least 70 or 80 books involved. I read quite a few of them. So one thing it does is it shows you, you know, the real truth, the truth that we're all looking for, the truth kind of that's inside you, that's always been there. But it does it in a very detailed way. It goes into more detail than you can find on your own. So it really fills in the gaps of your knowledge. Well, there are some ways, simple ways, like maybe solar panels or generators that people can get to prepare for power outages on an individual level or on a household level. You can be prepared with supplies, food, water, the basic necessities that you cover on your channel and your videos. But also with energy, I'm talking on a macro scale, on a national scale, and a global scale. More people are transitioning to electric cars. Now, what's going to happen when every other person has an electric car? Well, electric rates are going to go through the roof, and electricity is going to be more than gasoline. So it's not going to really make economic sense to do it. When there's too many people, there's not enough resources, we're going to run out and there's going to be scarcity. Right? So the simpler life that you live, the closer to nature, you know, if you bike instead of drive, if you walk instead of drive, everyone can do their part. And this may sound odd to some people, but one of the best things you can do if you want to save the planet is to not have children, or have 1 or 2 or 3 kids, but don't have 5, 6, 7, or 8 kids, because people do that in different countries all over the world, and, you know, their country is an overpopulated mess. I've been to many countries. I've been to, I don't know, at least 24 countries around the world, and I've seen 42 of 50 United States. I've been all over the world, so I've seen it myself. We have it pretty good in America. We have a pretty good standard of living. But what happens when what if war comes to our doorstep, like is happening in Eastern Europe with Russia and Ukraine? Why are we getting involved again on the other side of the world, something that's not our business, it's not our fight? And what if the chickens come home to roost? You know, we've already seen gas prices go up tremendously. I used to come down here to Florida from the Northeast, and gas would be way cheaper, and now it's like the same. So what happened? You know, why is gas so expensive now? Is that the government? Is that the president? Or is it something else going on? Solar panels, good. A lot of people do heat pumps now in the Northeast, and really the best thing on a macro scale is deep geothermal energy. There is an unlimited source of energy down towards the center of the earth where it's hot in the core. And if we drill deep enough, we can tap those in many places of the world. It would take care of all of our energy needs without any pollution. Most people don't think about that. They say, well, this, well, that. They make excuses, but, you know, nuclear is not safe, and all the other things are fossil fuels. And I wish people would hope people live long enough to see my words come true, but it's probably really going to hit the fan in, you know, 50 to 100 or 200 years from now. And then we have a huge total collapse where billions of people will die. And it doesn't mean you can't start planning now. It's been happening since the 1800s, okay? The ideal population, based on this information, okay, is no more than 1 billion people on Earth, and we're over 9.34 billion right now. So we're so many times over. It's hard to see it happening because it happens slowly. A shopping mall goes up, a housing complex goes in. But think about to when you were a kid. That the big trees come down. I don't know. It just happens so slowly. People can't see it, like the rising sea level. Well, people in Key West will see it, but most people don't realize it. It happens very slowly. So that's the biggest problem that the climate change deniers have, is they don't see it happening, because it's a beautiful day right now, right? It's like 75, 80 degrees. It's sunny and nice breeze, and we have beautiful oak trees with Spanish moss here, and they don't see it because it's like the frog boiling in the pot of cold, in the cold water that's with the heat turning up. It's starting with the microchip in your debit card. It's starting with biometrics on your driver's license. It's starting with facial recognitions. There was a interview I watched by an anonymous guy named Joe, and he said on any given day you're photographed 100 times without you realizing it, because you go into McDonald's or Wawa or the gas station or shopping, and there's cameras everywhere, and you're photographed all over the place. You're tracked, your cell phone GPS, you have apps on your phone. You can't escape the Wi-Fi, the EMF radiation, the radio waves. The things we can't see are everywhere. Even the pollution coming out of the car behind you. You can't see it or smell it, but it's there, and it all adds up. It's just little things that add up. The dispossession comes with the increase in the IRS workers. My buddy got harassed from the IRS this past year because he needed to prove his 3 children were real after they're 4 years old. And the new IRS workers, 2 different offices, sent him letters saying, you need to prove that you have these kids that you say you have, even though they've been born for several years and they've been paying taxes for several years. For them, it doesn't make sense. There's so much overreach, and they're picking your pockets. They came after me saying, you didn't pay taxes on unemployment. But they have all their records on you. And then I had to send them a check for this little couple $100. And then they said, okay, well, we got that. Here's your receipt. But now on your next taxes, you got to send a letter saying you did it already. It's like so redundant. There's so much government waste. Everything the government touches turns to crap. Everything. On the local scale, on the global scale, on the national scale. It's just, you can't trust anyone except you and maybe your family and close friends. So it would be advisable to just network with people like I'm doing. Just meet people who are like-minded and have a plan. Make connections, be prepared, have food sources, water, shelter, the basics, but also plan for the future, and don't rely on technology so much, because it's not always going to be around when you need it. Well, if you're interested in history before history that's taught in books, if you want to know what they don't teach you in school, I'm talking about the history of humans from other star systems visiting Earth. And you say, wait, well, there's no evidence of humans visiting Earth. Well, there is. They're in all the megalithic structures in South America, and the pyramids that were built 73,000 years ago, and Machu Picchu and Ollantaytambo, and those giant things they can't build today with all of our technology. And this goes back more than 400,000 years ago. So let me just start with this. The universe is 46 trillion years old. There have been humans for trillions of years. They come and go. 389,000 years ago, a group came here of humans. They interbred with people on Earth in different places, and they created modern human races. And I tell this whole story in a book I put together from the contact reports. It's called We Came from the Stars and Then from Mars, and you can find it in the link below, and you can download it for free. So if you want to read the history of the world, you'll learn more about anything on ancient aliens or anything that they ever teach you in school, because they don't know about it. BillyMeier.wordpress.com. I use it for two things. I put little excerpts of the contact reports that cover popular topics like the Loch Ness Monster, or the age of the pyramids, or various health things. And I also use it for documents on like the downloads or ebooks page. I use it to post books and compilations and research reports about the case and other information, so you can just browse around. Billy Meier knows the future. He's written about it since he was a little boy, and you can read those letters on my website, BillyMeier.wordpress.com. It's a little disturbing, but I think it's better that you know the truth rather than not. Now, it's going to take everyone some time to decide for themselves. I'm not trying to convince anyone. This is just my personal opinion and my experience, but I've determined it to be true after about a year of reading everything, and again, I'm 10 years in. I've met Billy, and I think he's the most important person in the world, and he publishes the most important information on the world. You can read his contact reports for free on They Fly blog or Future of Mankind. But this is not about aliens. This is about human life. This is about survival. This is about self-reliability, self-responsibility, living in harmony with nature. If you want to survive as a human, we need to know how to do that in a sustainable way. This country is in a steep downward trajectory. I don't know if you've realized it. It depends maybe how old you are. I think maybe the older you are, the more you'd realize it. There are not good things coming for America. I don't want to be doom and gloom. I don't think it's all going to happen right away, but we are escalating the war with Ukraine. It's none of our business. We pretty much started it in the first place because we've always wanted to invade Russia for its natural resources. All I can do is say, think for yourself, study the information that I provide for free, and be kind to one another, think about the future, and when we die, we come back and do it all over again. So hopefully we're a little smarter in the next life. So it's a long process. Don't be afraid, but be smart. Be smart. And I think you have this channel to help people be smart and help people survive and get by with whatever resources and means they can. And that's a good thing, because if people were more self-aware and self-conscious and just kind of thought about the future a little bit, or the past, present, and future, and like where we are and where we're going, that's why I put the book together, We Came from the Stars and Then from Mars, because the whole point of it is, if we don't know where we came from, how can we know where we're going?